All right, everybody, and welcome to Hard Rock History. I'm your guest, Paulie Christine, and today we have, I can actually say, a friend, one of Canada's commodities and gifts to the hard rock and heavy metal world. This guy, I tell you, I've been a fan since the 80s, and I'm glad to say I'm a friend since, believe it or not, we've known each other since the year 1999. So
Wow.
it's almost 27 years we know each other, and to boot, I have the pleasure. I've always wanted to be on a thank you on an album, and on this album itself, and this is in 2000. I gotta thank you on it. And the man is Lips from Anvil. My brother, how are you today? Thank you so much for showing up.
No problem, man. It's great to be here. It's
Thank you.
always, we always have a great time when we get together. So what
Always
the
have
hell?
laughs and bagels lately, right?
Yeah, right. That was what a present. What a present.
All
That's
right,
the
so
best.
we're gonna talk about the tour, but I always do history. So what made you? What was the factor in your life that started you to start making music? Like, were you always a rock fan? Or were you a '50s fan? And
Well, it's interesting because I was born in '56, so basically when rock and roll started,
right, right.
which is what a beautiful coincidence in a certain sense. But a meant to be, I suppose you could call it that.
Did you come from a musical family? Like, was the radio always
Yeah,
playing,
well, to a
records
certain,
playing?
yeah, radio always on. Older brother and sister, so I was inducted very very early.
Hmm.
By the time I was four, I was singing Elvis Presley songs. So it was
You got
well
the bug.
happening
You had the
around
bug.
the yeah, because my older sister and brother were of course listening to all the stuff that was coming out as it was coming out, and I was getting introduced to it, which was pretty incredible. And when I really mean that uh, my first recollection of a piece of music that I loved was "All Shook Up," Elvis Presley. So, what the hell?
Yeah.
What a way to start.
And
And
were you able to
of
see?
course, it was an interest. It was an interest, and my dad's tailor shop was a couple doors away from like a jewelry store, but the jewelry store was a slash music store, and they
I
had
had I had in
and they had
Brooklyn.
electric guitars in the window, and I'd go and I just stare at them for hours. Look at that, man! I want one of those so bad. And eventually, the guy from that store came into my dad's shop to get a suit or to rent or to do a rental, a tuxedo rental. And as it turns out, they did a deal, and he brought home an electric guitar for me.
Oh
So
wow.
that's how it really all began, and that was when I was like nine and a half, 10 years old.
Were you taught by a teacher or by yourself? Do you teach by ear?
Oh, and then of course my older brother, of course, immediately gravitated towards this, and as he learned, he taught me, which was pretty interesting. We got a Beatles rubber soul, the rubber soul music book. So as we learned from it, this
Hmm.
is, and it had pictures of all the guitar chords, um, like the kind of anyway.
It's like the ABCs of playing, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and from that book, we pieced together how to play it, and then from that point on, what it was, once I learned a few things, it it I didn't learn from other things. I started making my own stuff up.
Oh, so you didn't become a cover band in your own essence. You started creating.
Yeah, like for whatever reason, I was, and that, as well as my older brother telling me you're never going to get anywhere if you're copying everybody else.
Right.
create stuff, and it doesn't matter what you create. Anything you do is acceptable because it's artwork. That's what it all is. So you
Right.
don't you're not doing it wrong. You're making up the rules. And I went, I like that. I like
Hmm.
that concept. I like it.
So,
So what I basically in fundamentally learned by trial and error, but not necessarily by copying.
right, right. And then
Yeah,
as
there'd
time
be a
as
kid down the block and look at how you play House of the Rising Sun, and you're going, oh yeah, and they write down all the chords, and then I'm looking them up in the Beatle book, and I'm figuring out how to play them, and you know what I mean, and
yeah. And
didn't have
you
the
got you
internet
had
like today.
so when you got the electric guitar, then you had to get your amp. I'm sure what type of
Oh,
amp you
no
go.
amp. No, I didn't get an amp till way after, way after.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that's a thing, but I'm grateful as hell that it was an electric guitar, because what's the point getting an acoustic if you're going to play an electric guitar? And what do you
Exactly.
have that for? What are you going to
Right.
do with that?
Right.
Not much, you know. And all your favorite music is being played on electric guitar. Why do I own an electric guitar, right? But what happened, of course, having an older brother helped a lot of ways, because he had gone out and gotten a reel-to-reel tape recorder, and because he did that, we had all kinds of hookups to our main stereo, and we were able to plug the guitar in through the tape recorder and into the stereo and stuff.
Gotcha.
So that became our amplifier for the first couple of years anyway. That's the way it went. And then um and then my older brother went and for my birthday went out and bought uh, a Heathkit amplifier, which you had to build it.
It was like an IKEA
Yeah, you
amplifier.
had to build your own amplifier,
That's wild.
Yeah. But that was my first amps, and of course I didn't get my first quality guitar until I was 13. I had to wait. That was the bargaining chip for me to learn my bar mitzvah, because I was doing anything but trying to go to Hebrew school, if you understand what I mean. I mean, I,
So
I was a bad kid. I
that was the
skipped off
carrot that they
classes.
dangled in front of you, right?
Yeah, I'd skip off class. I didn't want to. I didn't want to go. I was very, very obstinate. I hated it, man. I, with you have no idea how much you could hate something as a kid. You learn real quick. I'm not going there.
Right, right,
You
right,
gotta
right.
go. You gotta go. And
You had to learn, and you had to learn the Torah, right?
yeah, well, yeah. But basically, it ended up that some of what I went there for was actually good influence in musical influence. And what
Hmm.
do I mean by that? Well, when you learn a bar mitzvah, it's actually quite interesting. First, you have to learn how to read Hebrew lettering. So it doesn't mean you have to learn what it means. It just means you have to learn how to read it,
Right,
right? Anyway, so I went that far. I learned how to read. I learned what the ABCs are in Hebrew, but not what any of it meant. Honestly, I
right,
I mean, I know what the word Israel looks like in Hebrew lettering without even having to sound out what word it says, because of recognition of what you've seen a billion times. You know
right.
what I
It's imprinted in you
mean?
now.
Yeah, like some of it gets imprinted. But the most interesting aspect of that process was the 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 teacher came in and he taught us riffs, vocal riffs. Okay, and they really are riffs.
Hmm.
Okay, and they'd be represented by little accents or diagrams, like a small little tiny little dot or a triangle or a squiggle line or I mean, there's all kinds of all kinds of shapes and stuff that represent a riff,
Right.
and these sit on top of the word, so that when you read the Hebrew word, which you don't know what the meaning is, but you can say it, you got to sing the riff, the riff that is printed above the word.
Mm-hmm.
So what it did is it taught me riffs and a way to write stuff down. And I actually I would create my own diagram, my own little insignias. This means this riff, this means that riff. And then I could put down an entire arrangement of a song without having to write music as such. That was
Wow.
my form of way. And as odd as it sounds, sometimes, even up to this day, I kind of think of things in terms of that. Oh, I'm doing this riff into that riff into that riff, but I don't use any diagrams to do it. I actually can memorize it. I got quite, as time went along, you're developing. So
Right.
you develop all these certain aspects of how to create music. Anyway, but these are I used it to my advantage.
Right.
Whatever the advantage was, I found it and I used it, and it was an interesting process. I went through it, and it was like the bargaining chip. You go through this, you learn it, you do it, and you get your guitar.
Gotcha.
Okay,
And what did you get then?
and it's like, okay, I'll do it. You got my arm behind my back. I'll do it.
Right, right, right. And you used it to your advantage because you said you found a way that it clicked inside your head and said,
And,
okay, I
and
can
it
get
gave
away
me
with
at
it this
least,
way.
yeah, at least this is giving it. It does have some usefulness to
Right.
me,
Right. That's
because
still, like you said,
I don't know
passed
about you,
on.
but many things in life, and especially when you're a kid, you think of it. Am I going to use this later? What's the point in learning it? We've all asked ourselves that question. You're sitting in history class. You go, what the fuck is the point in learning this shit?
That was algebra for me.
Or especially with math. I'm never going to use this ever again.
I told my
I'm
teacher
going
that.
to have to remember, all these stupid equations and shit. What the fuck am I learning this for?
Unless we're gonna build a fucking rocket ship and go into
Yeah, yeah,
space.
yeah, exactly, or do physics experiments and shit.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Anyways, so I mean, that's why I had difficulties in subjects like mathematics, because I couldn't find where or how it was going to be an advantage to me.
Right. Well, you know what's
Anyway,
funny? I
but
think
it's just interesting the way that stuff kind of builds itself through your life, and how you respond to it, and the person you are never changes. So
right.
that means that whatever you're given is what you got. That's it.
It's funny. Your brain tells you automatically this ain't for you.
Yeah, right.
You know, like I said, I swear to God, I was what in like I don't know maybe sixth grade when they started teaching algebra, and I went up to the guys, and I'll never forget it was a Mr. Nordgren, and he had one arm. So one arm was cut off from here. I mean, I'll never forget it. And the first day he's teaching this stuff, I swear to God, lips, I went up to him and said, "You're gonna fail me." I go, "I'm not gonna get it," and he literally passed me, just to make me go on to the next grade because I said, "My brain's just not getting it, man. It ain't happening," and it's true. But yet,
Yeah,
talk about history.
and it
I
never
loved
just
everything.
yeah, it never just pops into your head all of a sudden. Oh, now I like it and I can
Right,
really understand it. You're going, I don't fucking get the usefulness of it. I don't see the practicality in it. I mean, if you can't see the practicality in it, then it's really then it's you got to overcome your resistance.
right.
Mind overcome the difficulty. You know what I mean? It becomes twice as hard. So,
Right, because now because you walk into a situation that's it's frustrating.
yeah, like if I knew, okay, well, you learn algebra and you're going to be able to write songs like a motherfucker. I'll be going, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I should learn some algebra.
Right,
You know what I
absolutely,
mean? And then
absolutely.
I have the attitude I'm going to get this done. But I couldn't figure out how the hell numbers got anything to do with math. And it's only in my later years that I realize how mathematical music really is. That each song is, in a certain sense, a mathematical equation, and
Yeah,
it has to have balances. You know what I mean? It all has to balance. Four of these, two of these, four of these, two. You know what I mean? And everything and it's got to be somehow works with each other.
right, and
That it,
cohesive to what this song's going to
yeah,
become.
this parts equals this part equals this part, and you know what I'm saying. That it is quite mathematical in a certain sense.
Right.
So, but I related to everything to music, and if I couldn't see the practicality, I couldn't join the dots. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Whereas my older brother was a physicist and a doctor, and to him it was like breathing. So, you know, I just didn't get that that gene.
Were you the rebel of the family?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So,
And it ultimately was never respected the same way, and it was a big shock. Any kind of success from it was a huge shock. Like, you got to be kidding me.
so now as you're growing up and you're playing the guitar now, did you have a 9 to 5 job and were you
Not,
practicing at
not,
night?
well, yeah, there's a whole thing about all that too. In order to do this, you got to set up your life to do it. That's it.
Yeah.
And there are sacrifices and things that you got to do, that you got to find the way. You got to find your way to be able to do it, and that's actually the truth. And some
Hmm.
of it, you you can't be so proud of.
Right.
I've got a girlfriend and she's paying all the bills. That's not great. That's not great. You
Right,
know,
right, right.
there's been we've had members in the band that you push yourself to the limit. Like, one of the guys, he moves into the rehearsal place. He's living in the rehearsal place on an air mattress.
Right. Because you got nowhere else to go, right?
Well, he has a guy. He's not. He didn't want to work.
Uh,
Go to the regular job. Everybody else in the band has gone to the going to a regular job. Yeah, I don't want to go. I'm not doing it. I'm going to sleep on the floor in the rehearsal place and I'll live for nothing.
mm.
And you're going, that's well, we were talking about it the other day, and we're going, man, that's not the way you do it. Well, and in the long run, it's not somebody that stuck around long enough anyway to make anything of themselves anyway. So what the
Right.
hell's the difference? I'm just talking about a passerby.
Right,
I'm not
right,
mentioning, I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to and it wasn't one of the original members. Let's just put it that way.
right, right.
Although the original members did things to survive to a great degree. Both Rob and Ian lived with their parents well into their 30s, right?
And this is going through metal on metal and forging the fire.
Yeah,
And you
that's
guys,
through those the early era that they're living at home with their parents.
mm.
Two guys, right? Two of the guys, Squirrely and I found girlfriends and lived with them, and it's
So
you
getting
know
to that.
my parents wouldn't have me at home if I'm a musician. They threw me out. They basically threw me out. I really, from the time I was 20, I didn't really have a choice. If I wanted to become a musician, it's gonna be up. It was up to me,
Right.
and how I'm going to get myself through. And there were rough times, man. You know,
Now, now when you
I worked in a jewelry manufacturing place, doing polishing. There are things I worked for my uncles, in the catering companies. I always had to have supplement jobs because otherwise there's no money, right?
right, right.
So, and there's other things that you can do too, but we can't. I shouldn't really talk about it. I'm not talking about prostitution, but other things that you can do to make money that aren't the most up and up lovely way to do it, and certainly a dangerous, highly dangerous.
Right.
More about what happens to you if you get caught.
Well. Listen, I knew many a kid as a teenager who was a pot dealer, who sold coke, who sold
Yeah.
heroin, and that's how, and we're talking they're teenagers too at the time, and that's how they
Oh, I
got
mean, basically, it comes down to it's called surviving.
right.
It's
Absolutely.
financially surviving, and uh, I mean, at this point in time, saying that I sold pot to supplement my income, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Not
Especially,
nowadays.
especially considering my country has made it legal, and now you can buy it at almost more so. You can buy it easier than you can buy a jug of milk.
It's amazing. Right.
And it's easier to get than alcohol.
Right. Right. It's
Okay,
unbelievable.
so and actually, and from what I understand in the overall picture for North America, marijuana is now outselling alcohol.
There,
Hallelujah.
there you go. There you go.
That's what I say.
So let's get
Nothing's great for you to do. It's health wise, none of it is good, but on the other side of it, it's probably a lot less abrasive of a drug than alcohol,
oh,
in
absolutely.
my opinion.
I feel the same way too. I
You,
feel
you can't you can't you can't be addicted to it. There's no such thing as marijuana addiction. It's habitual. That's different than addiction.
right.
It is different from addiction. And anybody who smokes cigarettes will tell you that smoking is not just a habit, it's an addiction. Try to quit.
Right. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's brutal, man. It's brutal. You'll climb the walls. You Jones so bad coming off cigarettes. It took almost 2 years for me to clean myself out from
Mm,
cigarettes. So I know what an addiction is. And marijuana is not an addiction because you can walk away or do as much or do it as little as you want, and it doesn't make any damn difference.
right.
That's how it is in my life. I've when I was quitting cigarettes, I had quit smoking pot and everything. So because I couldn't, I had to walk away from everything. And in eventuality, I never, it never, I didn't Jones for marijuana. I was always jonesing for the tobacco. It,
Right. 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 Well,
and
the nicotine is the addictive one.
because I always mixed the two, I had to quit both,
Okay.
right? and that's what happened. So, but ever since then, um, I went back to I went back to but to smoking, but not not burning.
Right.
I
Is it
use it.
more recreational now to you?
Yeah, and I use it almost like medication. I use it more like you're not doing it because it's a habit or that you want to smoke. You're doing it specifically. I want to change gears, and you take one puff, and you're good for hours, 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 hours. Not you're smoking a joint because I don't smoke it in joints. I don't smoke it in pipes. Like I use actually the vaporizing things. These
Okay,
things.
yeah, 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 yeah. And do you feel well, I haven't gotten high in because of my job. I haven't gotten high in over 30 years, you know. I used to smoke baseball bats back in the day,
Yeah,
you know.
right. Well,
And
that's the thing. Smoking is so heavy on your lungs. I found uh, I found a much lighter way to go. Like honestly, you're not sitting there smoking a joint and taking 20 puffs off a joint.
yeah.
You take one puff and you're there.
And do you feel the stuff I hear the new stuff is stronger than back in the day also. Do you
Oh
feel
yeah,
that?
everything is, man. You got to be careful, and especially with the edibles, man. You fuck. They'll really screw you up. But I mean, all that stuff is like whatever. Um, but these were ways to help. Going back to rock and roll, it was a way of helping out all my friends. You know, I'd go get myself a quarter pound of pot and I get a really good deal, and then sell it to all my friends.
Right. Right, right.
And it's not like
You are on the street corner.
it's not like I'm going to the fucking schoolyard or something. I'm selling to the people I've known my whole life. What the
Right.
hell?
I, I understand it completely, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about. It was a neighborhood thing that way. You know?
Yeah, and I never got in any trouble for it. All I did was supplement my income and make it so that I everything was that I didn't have to live off everybody and everything. I mean, once my first marriage fell apart, and as a result of being away, not a result of what it all is. It
Yeah.
was not destined to last. Plus the fact I was living off of somebody, and once that era of my life changed, I of course took full time jobs. You know, I took full time jobs. Sometimes they're half day, so that I could go to rehearsal, but I was still selling pot, so that it was making up for the other half of the day in financially. You know what I'm saying? That there was always a way to there was always a way to I don't know if I should be talking about this, but
It's fun. Listen, it's between it's not between us because because this is I'm trying to make a show out of this. But listen, it comes out. This is what's coming out right now.
but that's what you're forced like not forced to do, but you're surviving.
Right. I know. I know. I know. I
And
know.
it's not like you're really doing anything really wrong to do it. It ethically speaking and morally, you're not really doing anything wrong to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now in retrospect, and when you think about it, right? What harm was I doing? And I was doing people there a favor.
Right. Right. Listen, it all came down to the laws. That's what it made it. That seemed that way.
Yeah,
And that was someone else's. That's the government's way of of what they were thinking of what it was then compared to what they think of what it is now, which is
Yeah, but
it's
then
fine.
and Rob and I had to do these things. Rob got in trouble for it. You know, it's. I mean, people know who know anything about us. They know that Rob's had troubles in the
Hmm.
past with that with getting in trouble for it. But I mean that it's the price you pay, man.
Right, right,
You know, you're taking a big risk, and that's he's still paying for it in a certain sense. For somebody told on him,
right.
and to this day it costs money, you know.
Fucking rats.
Because you got to make things go away, and it costs money to make things go away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You want to be able to travel, so you got to fix your all your documentation and pay for your even if it happened 50 years ago, it stays with you your whole life.
Because it's on his record.
Yeah, it stays in yeah, and you can't
Yeah,
you can't get rid of it.
yeah.
It's just there. It's part of your name, your history. That's it. You're you're it's hooked up to you, man, and they don't disconnect it.
Unreal.
I
So
mean, that's the same thing in the United States. If you get a DUI, it's not like it's going to go away. It'll
right,
always be on a record.
right, absolutely.
Yeah, no, you get charged with something down there. It's on your record. They don't remove it, and that's what I'm saying. America, FBI documentation on everybody who goes in and out of the country, whether they've ever been in trouble with the law, and then you have to check in with them. You have to do paperwork with them every you have an expiry date uh, on your passport. Well, you get an expiry date on your waiver. That's what they
No,
call it, waiver.
wow.
So you got to pay for a waiver every 5 years, and it's not cheap. And you got to go through the entire process again
Jesus.
every time. And you're the same person. So you got to do your fingerprints. You, it's
And now this is something that happened in his 20s, basically, right? Or when he was younger.
yeah, yeah.
That's bullshit. I mean, that really is bullshit. That it should be expunged after a certain amount of time. You become a normal human being
Well,
again,
it is, and it is, but it isn't.
right? Because it's always brought up again.
Until the USA changes the federal law on marijuana. Anybody who's ever been charged, and if they know about it, you, it's there forever.
So basically known as like a trafficker, right? Basically a drug trafficker. So you have to recognize.
Once they know that you've been caught with marijuana, you need permission to enter the United States forever.
Unreal,
Forever.
unreal.
There's not you can't just sign up for something and say, okay, I did this, sorry, and
And
I've
let
been a
it
good
be.
boy ever since. They want to know you're a good boy every 5 years and have a complete security check on just in case. And that's the way it is.
He's never been denied though, right? Every time you guys came down, it's been okay that way though.
Yeah, yeah, because you're taking care of it. It's
Yeah,
being taken care of. And you have to. It costs money, and you sign up for stuff and you take care of it. That's it.
all right, all right, all right. Let's get back to the music now. Let's just the origin of Lips was a band first, right?
Yeah,
And that was with the original guys that did become Anvil. Or you had other guys in the band at the time.
Well, it's interesting because Rob and I started playing in 1973.
Oh wow.
Okay, so
And how'd you
uh,
guys meet?
at at a mutual friend's place in the neighborhood, somebody invited us both to a jam, and it was instant chemistry, incredible actually. And it was, I'm playing music that doesn't even exist. I'm playing original music, and this guy's jumping in like he's heard it a million times.
Mm,
And you're going, I've just found somebody that I can play with.
right,
Let's do something with this. That's crazy. I got to do something with this. It's just what I need to move forward and make my dreams come true. And our initial discussions, as 14 and 15-year olds, was about never selling out. You wouldn't think that 14 or 15-year olds would talk about such things, but it was a really, really important thing to us. Is because in most cases, our favorite bands, they're really heavy. They really come out heavy, and then they go lame.
right, right. They would go for the commercialism of
Yeah,
stuff and try to get the hit
and
single.
yeah, and it really, like when we were kids, it would really upset us, really bad when they do that. And some of our favorites, they're all attempting to do that. You're going, it just sucks, man.
Right,
I never want to be part of something that does that. That was our initial thing, and especially coming from Canada, because it was very common. Canadian bands, it was all about tons and tons of over dramatic vocals, tons of harmonies and keyboards in your music. And we're going, we got to be heavy as fuck and never be like a Canadian band. You know
right,
what I
right.
mean?
Because you had your Sagas and your April Wines and your Triumph. Going that route.
Most of the Canadian stuff that was successful was keyboard or Loverboy.
Right,
It was I mean, there's lots of it, and that you can't even begin. Where do you begin, and where do you like a lot of it that I don't even care to even know what the name is. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
There's tons of it. Glass Tiger. I don't know. What is it? Platinum Blonde. Saga.
yeah.
um, Geez. Well, I mean, there's it's just that it's not my thing.
Right,
Uh, the keyboard oriented, other than Deep Purple and Uriah Heep, I don't, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the rest can go away. I don't
right.
care.
Were you listening to back then though? Were you listening to like Rainbow and UFO and stuff like that? Were you influenced
Yeah,
by
but I
any of
mean,
that stuff?
that's still guitar. That's still heaviness, man. No,
Yeah,
yeah, no, no, no. What I'm talking about is, Platinum Blonde. If you know what that is, if you know some of the bands around Canada, that then you'd go, oh, I get what you mean.
right, right. And I heard a rule in Canada that no matter what, every radio station has to play a Canadian band
Yeah,
on the air.
and they usually just play Rush or Max Webster,
Okay.
right? And no one else gets radio play.
No Brian Adams?
Oh yeah, well, Brian Adams. But I mean, it's our laws, all our laws kind of worked in favor of a few. It didn't help the majority. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They're supposed to add Canadian content, but in doing so, they add like three bands when they should be adding 20 bands
Right.
rather than 20 songs by these three bands. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's thousands of other Canadian bands out there. Everybody should get a piece of that pie.
Yeah, but
It
that's
ain't
not the
that
way
way.
it works. That's not
Right.
the way it works.
So the like I said, Lips itself was a band. Were you called Lips from the get-go? Was that how did you
No,
get the name of Lips?
initially, like the first earliest bands, the earliest band that I was part of, and what the name was Canned Root Beer. That
That's
was the first.
different.
That's the first band, and the Electric Bananas, because and that was in the early '60s, right? Or
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
mid '60s. Uh,
Yeah, Hot
Summer
Tuna.
Love in that
Hot.
era, the Electric Banana. Well, we got Donovan, the Donovan song mentions Electric Bananas, Sunshine Superman or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Um, then was Gravestone, because we really discovered Black Sabbath.
Hmm.
And then we called ourselves God, GAWD. That didn't last long. Uh, and these were all basically bands with Robbo, right? But they're all previous with different members. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We had Gary Green at one point. We had Mike Mayer at another point. We had Ashley Jarnicki, the singer, at one point. We had there's different years, different eras. We'd have other guys, usually two other guys. I didn't want to sing. Uh,
Okay.
I didn't want to sing. Anyway, at one point, Rob and I joined a band called Kickback, and Kickback had these two guys. One guy owned the PA, and the other guy was this big goofy singer guy, right? Who had gotten hired to be an actor in a movie called Metal Messiah. This is going back to the '70s, right?
Hmm.
Anyway, uh, they had put this band Kickback together, and Ian Crichton, the guitarist from Saga, was in this band. And eventually what happened was they needed a guitar player. But Rob joined the band first. Um, and and then he started telling them about me, and they're going, they asked me to come down to a gig, and I came down to the gig, and of course my attitude was I could do this like that. Whatever. You need me, I'm here. Okay.
Hmm.
And maybe I was overconfident, but when you can do something, you're going, I'm your guy. I don't know where. You don't have to look any further. Trust me.
Right.
And they didn't like that. They didn't like that attitude.
Oh.
But what happened was, they decided, and it was the bass player that said, I don't like the guy's attitude. He's too gung ho. I don't, and then Rob's friend told him, you're out of your fucking mind, man. this guy is the best guitar player in probably in our country, and you're saying you don't like him. You should at least have him come down. And then the singer overheard this conversation to the bass player, and he goes, yeah, get the guy down. So
Mhm.
I come down, and of course I pull out my guitar, start playing all this original music, and their jaws drop. And it's like, I'm playing School of, Bedroom Game. I'm, all the stuff from the first
Oh,
album.
so you had that
Oh
arsenal in your
yeah,
pocket.
Rob and
Yeah.
I had we'd been busy.
Yeah.
It's no problem. And of course Rob is playing, and they're going, "Holy fuck!" Like this is we got we got a band. That's it.
Hmm.
This guy is the guy. But unfortunately, it was never destined to work because the singer was a goof, didn't know what he was doing. He could barely sing. He looked the part, but he was a goof. He was a stooge, right? Just doesn't know what he's doing. Doesn't know how to talk to an audience. Um, and
And did you have that
he
energy
was
that you
being a
had?
real, he was a real dick to me.
But
Really
let,
fucking,
but let me ask you, did you
fucking
have that
bad.
energy that you have now on stage, like going around, moving, being very animated? Were you that way from the get-go?
Yes, because that was what I always thought that that's what you needed to be.
Hmm.
That isn't that part of it. Your guitar needs distortion on it. Your face does too. You know what I mean?
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Were you over like if anything, you drew attention to yourself that way, which it is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? But taking away from the singer and stuff like that. So you didn't see.
Yeah, and it could be that that's where the animosity. I was getting more attention than he was,
Yeah.
and that could be where the animosity, and it went south really fast. It went south really fast, so it didn't continue. Um, and after that point, Rob and I decided, well, what the fuck, we joining somebody else's band? Let's put our own band together, and we got everything we need. And then we said, let's just get another guitar player that can sing.
Hmm.
So we put an ad in the newspaper, and Dave Allison calls me. And to him, it sounded exactly like he wanted it, like the band he was looking for. All originals, hard rock. Let's do it. You know what I mean? The originals, we wanted to be part of that. Okay, so we go and we have a meeting with him. I teach him School of in like 10 minutes, and he's playing, and he's got an alternate version of it that works perfectly with what I'm doing, and I'm going, that's it. We got the guy. Let's go. That's it. So it was a pretty quick uh, construction, and putting the band together. And then the question was, what are we calling this thing? And then of course Rob was all about, let's model this after what Ted Nugent did, and you should be the center of focus. It should be, so let's use your nickname Lips, and we'll call the band Lips.
And where did that come from? What was your nick?
It
What is
was
your
just a
nickname?
nickname that one of our buddies earlier on started calling me Lips.
Just happened.
Whatever.
Yeah. And it stuck.
Yeah, and that's it. I wasn't pleased about it, and eh,
But
it
it's your
works.
moniker now, man. It's that shit. It is you.
It
Now it's you.
works, and
Yeah,
it
of
works.
course.
So what is there to complain about? Fuck. Some things are dumbass, whatever. But my last name Kudlow. It was like whatever.
Listen, yeah, listen.
People
There's
know it
there's only
anyway, so does it make any difference?
listen, like they say, there's only one Cher, there's only one Madonna, there's only one Lips.
Yeah, right.
You know, so listen, it's an honor. I think it's an honorable name now. Also,
Yeah, well, it's also been enough televised that everybody knows that my real name. It's not like it's been a secret or anything like
right,
that.
right, right, right. So now after Ian comes in after Dave now forming the band, and Dave was there already.
So, now we were set up in that a rehearsal place as a three piece without a bass player. So we we were kind of an attraction, and well, not kind of, we were a main attraction in the rehearsal hall. Like there was a good 20 or 30 bands in this rehearsal place, and everybody would come to our room to hang out. Plus the fact we had dope, we were smoking pot.
Didn't
So
hurt.
it was a good place to go hang out. You know what I mean? That's what what it sort of was. And from that, um, Ian started showing up in our room just to hang out and get high.
Oh, okay.
And he was a bass player from this tribute band, right? So we get word from the tribute band singer that they're going to fire him, right? And we're going, you're going to fire the only guy who's got credibility in your band? Like, what the fuck? So we're going, we'll hire him. And they're going, well, keep away. We're not telling them until the weekend or some shit like that.
Mm,
So you're not to tell them that you're going to hire him because we haven't told them that he's fired yet. So they were playing a club not far from where we lived, and we went and to the club, and they hand him an envelope with his "you're fired" and the $20 that they're paying him or whatever, right?
wow.
And he's standing there with the envelope, and I knew exactly what the fuck was going on. And I just go up to him and I go, Ian, so listen, when you move out of this gig tonight, move your amp over to our room. And you're in Anvil now. You're in the Lips band. What do you think of that? And he goes, I'm in. That's it. Like, to him, it was like a no-brainer. He's already friends with us. He's been hanging out with us on a daily basis and spending more time in our room, and he's not even in our band.
Right.
And he's the bass player of this other band, and we need a bass player. What the fuck? Move your shit over to our place. And that's what it was. And within of course, it gelled immediately, everything, and away we went. And quite incredible. And of course, all original music, because we had this attitude: you're not going anywhere unless you're original. So why would we pick up covers, right?
Right.
And there used to be at that time there was a booking agent that used to come in and around the rehearsal hall and check out all the bands. So he comes into our room and he listens to, of course, we're not playing any covers, right? And he just listens, and he does not. Meanwhile, the room is half filled with all the other musicians in the fucking place, because they know our tunes, and they're loving it, having a great time hanging out with us. And this booking agent starts in on us when we finish playing and going, you guys got to pick up some cover tunes. And Rob had his drums on a drum riser in the room, and he stands up. And now, of course, he's way towering, way over the guy because he's on a drum riser. And he says, "You get your fucking ass out of my room, man. No one's going to tell me to be a fucking loser cover tune cover tune drummer. We play our own music. You don't like it? Get the fuck out." Yeah. You know,
Unbelievable.
It's just unbelievable. And meanwhile, this son of a bitch eventually hired us anyway because there was no fucking choice. We were a hot name in town and we were drawing to the clubs, and you booking the clubs that you need to make a good name for yourself. So you're booking lips into the club. And it's not it wasn't the only example. The Prime Club, there was a place called the Young Station on Young Street, and then the Gasworks, which is it was equivalent to the Whiskey,
Okay.
okay, from Toronto. Anyway, you wouldn't get a record deal out of the Young Station, but you certainly could get a record deal go playing at the Gasworks. But unfortunately, we had we had a roadie working for us that was originally the doorman for the gasworks, but because that guy was working for us, the gasworks wouldn't hire us. So
That's
now
weird.
we're playing all over the fucking we're playing all over Quebec and Ontario and becoming a fucking major fucking draw. And when we played the Young Station, no one was at the gasworks. Everybody was at the other place watching the Lips band. So the owner went, well, I've got to cave in and hire the Lips band, even though I can't stand the guy that used to work here that's working for them. Okay. So they had us there anyway. And within that week, we got our record deal.
And that was with Attic.
And that was with Attic. That's right.
So what
So
was the trick? So
it's
then,
just incredible. Like look at what was stopping it from happening. You now at the same time, the stuff that's connected to this is incredible. This guy that I'm particularly talking about had been Tony Iommi's guitar roadie.
okay.
Okay. They're going, what the fuck? How, what? The guy was working at the gasworks when when Black Sabbath came to Toronto to record Never Say Die, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was in the middle of the fucking winter. So you can imagine those poor bastards that they're putting up with a Canadian winter, and they
This
were
was like
coming to the gasworks.
78 then, right?
They were eating their lunch and drinking every day, Tony and Geezer. So this guy became friends with them. And he was a left-handed guitar player. So Tony went and said, you know what? Why don't you come work for us? So he ended up working for Black Sabbath. Now, this is the very famous guy that that they put in the back of the transport truck with all the equipment to get him across the Scottish border.
No kidding.
And there is no Scottish border. Okay, there's a border, but there's no border. You
Yeah.
understand? It's just a practical joke. They get him into Scotland, and then Geezer and Tony paid the police to come get him and take him to the police station all day.
They were just fucking with him?
Yeah, they completely fucked with the guy, man.
Oh
It
my
just,
God.
it incredible. Made for great conversations.
Holy
Great
shit.
conversations. And from that, now in 1977 or 78, from that we went when we first put the band together. Of course, this guy had worked for Black Sabbath, so he was friends with them, and he'd become friends with AC/DC and um, yeah, just incredible. So we're going to these shows because they knew him. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Right.
So we met AC/DC guys when they were opening for UFO. You
And
know,
this is Bon Scott.
like this is so much, but like this was before this. This is at the time of the Powerage album.
Oh wow.
So like we become friends with ACDC back in the 70s. It's crazy, um, all because of this guy that who I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and that connection is just incredible. And of course, we met, of course, the Black Sabbath guys, and we went down to Niagara Falls to go see Black Sabbath, and we got in backstage, and Van Halen was the opening band.
Wow.
So we met the Van Halen guys in Niagara Falls at that convention center, and just some of the life experiences from all these things. It's just amazing. But that same guy that did all that gave all this advantage to us in meeting all these other big bands way before they were even big is just unbelievable. But that same guy kept us from our record deal
Mm.
because we couldn't play the Gasworks. It's unbelievable. But
Well, how did he have connections to like so you got Attic, but how was he connected with
well, he was that guy was not connected to Adam.
and what was the transition of Lips turning into Anvil? Why did that have to happen?
Well, once we got, of course, when Tom Williams came down to see us at the Gasworks, we blew him right away. Like he's going, I'm signing this. No question. You watched one set, he's going, I'm in. That's it. No problem. And he just he had the foresight because at that time the other labels weren't interested. You're
Hmm.
going, what the fuck is this? They're hearing a bedroom game or school of, and they're going, what the fuck? No, I don't think so. It's too heavy, right?
So are you playing the complete
They're Canadian labels. They're looking at this. What are they going to play on the radio? Where's the
right? That's
commercial?
what they were
Where's
looking at.
that's what they're looking at. And
Yeah,
the first thing that Attic record goes, this is going to be huge in England. That's the first thing they're thinking.
right, right. Because now you're part in the beginning of the birth of the new wave of British heavy metal as it is going on
Yeah, and
all over
and,
the
and
world.
Attic Records being a and of course being a very entrepreneurish in the sense that they were the real pioneers because they're willing to take the risk, right? The major labels aren't going to take the risk. They're looking for their guaranteed paid back from radio play.
Right, they want the single.
Yeah, but the independent is going, no, this is going to be a big underground craze, man. This could potentially turn into a lot of money later, right?
Hmm.
So, and they saw the growth, and of course, being involved with Triumph, which was a building process as well, they figured, yeah, let's sign this, and that's how that's what happened, and of course, we had recorded our own music. I mean, we had to take everything into our own hands, as usual, even to this fucking day. Where
You had the demos already before you
demos, we
went.
had recorded album.
So you had Hard and Heavy done already,
Hard and
basically.
Heavy was already done. We already pressed copies and everything.
Oh, so you did a self album itself. You
Absolutely.
funded
Yeah.
everything yourself. Oh, okay. Now,
Yeah.
did that get distributed, or you selling it at the show
We
at the
were
time?
selling them at the show.
Oh, wow.
And of course, there was only a thousand pieces.
And that was on the lips then.
Yeah. And so when the label got it, they go, well, you're a great band. You need another name
Okay.
because this is going to be not a clear cut thing. calling yourself Lips, it's people are not going to know what you're trying to sell here.
And
You
also, there was
need,
a band
you
called Lips
need a name
Incorporated
that is
too.
going to, yeah. Well, that's when then they went down that road. They
Yeah,
go, people are going to think you're a disco band,
right.
or they're going to think that you're gay, or it's guys come up with another name. And Rob, and of course we had called the album Hard and Heavy, Lips Hard and Heavy, and what happened was, I guess it kind of sunk in with Robbo, and he comes out one day and he goes, "Let's call it Anvil. Call the band Anvil." And then of course we started realizing, oh, the album is already called Hard and Heavy, so that definitely goes together like
Right.
bread and butter. Like holy
There it
shit,
is.
yeah,
Oh, come on, you. There it is, right there.
yeah. So that's what ended up.
And
That's how
great album
that.
cover too. One of the
Well,
iconic album covers.
and what happened was, of course, the label went. Nothing could be better because it's an inanimate object. It becomes almost like a logo, and it's just the shape of the anvil. Never mind the actual printing of the name, the actual the actual picture of the inanimate object is instantly like a logo.
Right.
And they're absolutely correct because in a certain sense it's like the Motorhead Beast that's on all the covers, or Eddie that's on all the Iron Maiden covers. It becomes your sort of your logo, and it's not a picture of the band, and it's not words. It's an illustration.
And the
So even an
stencil
illustration or a picture of an anvil works perfectly. Everybody knows what it is, you
and the
know.
stencil was always this way. This is the original stencil too, or was it changed to this?
It's changed. It's but ever so slightly,
Yeah, well, yeah, I can see on here. Yeah,
ever so slightly. There's small details that,
yeah,
and
but
and, and
the
many times
origins
it's
is
just
there
it's
of it.
just it's just to we like it like this time, or we change it a little bit just to make it different. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so,
But
so
they're
now
all generally the same.
here's my question. You go in, you're recording the album, right, for Attic Records. So now you had to re-record basically your demos, right?
Oh no, all they did is remaster. We we took the Lips album, remastered it,
Okay.
and put a new cover on it, and that
So
there it was.
now
Done.
speaking of covers, you did break your golden rule on the first album.
How do you mean?
Painted Black is on the album.
Oh, right.
So how the hell did that
Yeah, but
happen?
yeah, no, okay. You have to understand this. The stubbornness is still there. It's not like the Rolling Stones.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It, it,
Absolutely.
it's not really. It's a cover, but yeah, that's the stubbornness.
Yeah.
And when we did cover, we had ended up doing covers. And during the Lips days, we did covers. We had to, and
Well, you had to fill time too.
well, it was impossible. You couldn't get the Bruce Wilson days. The manager could not get us bookings unless he had a list of songs the that the clubs could say that he could tell the clubs that were playing.
Right.
You can't, if they got a list of songs and they don't know one song, they're not hiring you.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Uh,
Like they say, you gotta put asses in the seats. So
there was no frickin' choice. Okay,
yeah.
there was no choice. Okay, we were strong armed into it, but again, with stubbornness, we had our own way. We did Paint It Black. We did Born to Be Wild. We did I'm Not Your Stepping Stone.
Okay. Monkeys, yeah.
We did Caught in a Dream, Alice Cooper. We did and then 6 Ted Nugent songs. So yeah, that's and the way that it worked out in our repertoire, it was 2 originals, 1 copy, 2 originals, 1 copy. So we were still doing 2/3 our own music.
Oh, right.
But what we did to make our show a spectacle was we added pyro, but it's illegal pyro. We're literally making our own bombs with with gunpowder, like literally making bombs.
Wow.
They're taking the old plastic plastic film canisters that used to hold the film. You fill that with gunpowder, put a fuse through it, 2 wires, put it into an electrical box with a switch on it, tape it up with black tape, all the cartridge, the little container for because it was what used to hold the 35 millimeter film.
Right.
You tape it up with black tape so that it's like a ball, so that it's under a heavy compression, and then you flip the switch and kaboom, and I mean boom. And these were some of the techniques that we used. Others were a very very slow burning gunpowder, and you add tea bags into the raw powder, and then you put a fuse in an electrical box over the 2 terminals, flip the switch, and of course it sparks and sets off the gunpowder, but they're sparkle bombs.
Oh,
So
wow.
it would flare up, and as it's flaring up, the little flakes of tea would be set afire so that it would put sparkles all through the air.
Oh, wow. That's wild.
So you
And
know we
what song would you use that for? Was there a particular song
oh
for
there
that
were
you?
there were different songs, and we had then there were the we had one song called Hot Child,
Hmm.
and we used the triple FG without the T, and that was just 2 pillars of fire. Yeah, there were a couple of different techniques and different ways that you set the stuff off, that it would have different variations of what we're doing. And of course this is before there were laws in
Gotcha.
clubs. You're not allowed to do any of this.
Right,
Never
right.
mind the fact that we're using gunpowder, which is,
Insane.
where are you going to get gunpowder now?
Right, right, right. Let me ask you, you said that you really didn't want to be the singer, you wanted to be a guitar player. Then you brought yourself to sing. Now, Dave wasn't a very good singer, as it was. Was it always thought that you would switch trade off? Or was Dave going to be the singer
What it
itself in
was,
the
he
band?
was we tried when he, of course, he was much better as a backup vocalist, and because the band was more centered on me, that we were definitely wanted me to be the dominant singer.
So be the, yeah, right, be
That's
right
how it
front
ended up,
center.
because it then the focus is going to get lost. We didn't want
Gotcha.
the focus to be lost. It's okay for him to sing a couple songs, and plus the fact he he wasn't, you couldn't rely on him. You couldn't rely on him
In what sense,
for a
though?
number of reasons. You know what I
Okay.
mean? He didn't have the stamina. He couldn't sing every night
Really?
and pull it off. You know,
Would you have to cut the
Certainly,
song then?
one and he'd be doing one or two songs, and he's barely getting this. He's coughing in between all the fucking lines of the song, and
Oh wow.
barely. You can't depend on it. It wasn't a dependable singing. It just wasn't, and it's as simple as that. And I became the lead vocalist, and that's it.
Right.
And we let him do one or two songs, but by the time we did "Make It Up to You," I believe it was "Make It Up to You." No, no, "Never Deceive Me"
Yeah, never to see, right off of Forged. Yeah.
that was when I made the final decision that this guy shouldn't be doing his own songs. It took something like 3 days to get that recorded. It
Wow.
it was really fucked vocally.
That's sad to hear because like I said, he sounds good on the record. I thought he sounded
Yeah, but
really
and to get that there was painstaking. It was
wow.
absolutely painstaking. You had to have a sympathy for the for both Dave and the producer, but it barely got through it, man.
Wow, that's terrible. So now during the hard and heavy now you're touring. Did you go overseas?
No, we didn't go overseas
You
till the Metal on Metal album.
oh, so you stay within Canada then for the hard and
Yeah,
heavy. So but you
yeah.
toured you toured a
We
little wider.
didn't even play in the States. We never played in the States till after Metal on Metal.
Right, right. So now, okay, so Metal on Metal comes now. This is we're talking 81, 82. You're making the songs up. You're putting the tracks down.
Yeah, it must have been late '81 that we were already. It may even yeah, in around late '81 we
Yeah,
were
because
already.
the release date was April 15th, 82. The album came out
Yeah,
actually.
we'd been all that stuff was written a year before, easy.
And now you
Yeah,
have Tangarides, Chris Tangarides as your producer. How did that was it that feel right for you guys?
yeah, those were magic moments, magic times, man. What are you
And
gonna?
everything was a home run. I mean, Mothra, Heat Sink, Tag Team. I mean, forget it. March to the Crabs. I mean, but it just was the ideas just boom, boom, boom coming out of your head.
And it came easy and quick. The whole process was really really fast. Everything about the Metal on Metal album was bing bang boom, and with very little stress to any of it, really.
And did you feel what Metal on Metal? Because that is your anthem. That's the one you got people
It would
chanting
never.
on.
I would not didn't know it.
Okay, so it was
I
just a
didn't
song.
know
It was just a
that.
song. Just a song.
Yeah, it's interesting because during towards the end of the recording, of course, they were Much Music, which is was like the Canadian MTV, came down to actually interview us. And who was the interviewer? John Roberts from Fox TV now.
Oh, geez, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and he's a Canadian guy. Anyway, he came down, and the song that we centered on was Metal on Metal, and I chose it. It was my idea to use that because the album was called Metal on Metal,
Right.
not because I thought that it was going to be a single. I just thought it would be better for advertisement perspective and marketing to introduce the Metal on Metal album with the song Metal on Metal, right?
Yeah,
It just
exactly.
that makes the most sense. So we went with that. And it's a damn good thing. But the real truth was we all felt that Metal on Metal was the least contending song on the record.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you had a lot of heavy. I mean, I
Well,
love.
think of it. It's got the it's It's all the song's got three parts to it.
Right. Da-na-na-na. Yeah,
What,
yeah, yeah. It's
what integrity is that guy? Come on, Mothra, heat sink. Give me some
jackhammer.
balls, jackhammer.
Oh my
Come
God.
on. Those are that's the goods,
That's
right?
yeah. That's the meat and potatoes they would call of songs.
Yeah,
You know,
and who would have ever thought that the song that's got three parts is the one that's going to be the one that
resonate.
knocks it out of the fucking park?
Yeah, yeah. Crazy,
You know, we're
crazy.
going. That's the same album that 666 is on. The very first real speed metal song of all time, and even that, you know, it's actually fascinating. So of course, after Metal on Metal came out, we got interest from a management in the States. Not only did Johnny Z want us, but Aerosmith's manager wanted us. So we're figuring, yeah, let's go with that guy. But then, we played a few opening gigs for Aerosmith, and the guy comes backstage and he says to me, "You know that song 666? I don't know if that should be in your set." And that's when I went,
Oh
"Oh,
boy.
oh."
So
That was the moment. That was the moment that you say, "Thank you very much, sir. We're going elsewhere."
right,
But no, and by that point in time, Dave Allison and Rob were so convinced that David Krebs, that this Aerosmith manager was the right guy, and we got to do everything that he says. I I right away knew, oh,
yeah,
he just pointed at probably the most influential piece of music by a band in the last 20 years. You just told them not to play it.
right,
This guy doesn't got a fucking clue what he's doing or what he's listening to. Hasn't got a clue. And he didn't. He had no fucking clue. And where was that guy leading us? Down that road that we were talking
of
about.
singles, right,
At,
commercial.
that's right. The
Yeah.
stuff that I want nothing to do with and never have.
Did you have a contract with them by then? With represented being represented by them?
Yeah, by then, and of course we got all knotted up. We got knotted right to fuck up, and um,
You think it would have been a different
as
world?
quick as everything, as quick as everything rose, it went away
Mm,
because we didn't sign with Johnny Z, which is who we should have signed with,
absolutely.
because then we would have been where Anthrax was,
You would have been on Megaforce.
or they might not have even bothered to with Metallica. That's why I signed Metallica, is because he couldn't get Anvil.
Oh wow, yeah,
All of it. You let the real, you let the big fish, or you let the, it might be the minnow that grew into the whale. You let him get away, and you hooked the jellyfish
right,
that's going to make you sink, and that's
right.
what the fuck happened. So it's actually pretty bizarre. And the other sad thing that happened all simultaneous to this was the original label, Attic Records, had sold licensing rights to a company in France, and they were supposed to press 1,000 picture discs. Well, what did they do? They pressed 1 million picture discs,
Oh, they flooded it.
and they flooded the market with them at half price of what our regular domestic sales were.
Mm,
So if you could buy the Metal on Metal album or Hard and Heavy album for $10, you could buy the picture disc for 5.
mm, right.
You see,
Terrible, terrible.
so they weren't internationally uh, above board. So most of these records went out to the mom and pop shops that don't report the sales. They're in every fucking flea market from here to China.
Mm.
Okay. And all the, like, you know how in flea markets sell records? The lit the hard and heavy and metal on metal picture discs were in all the flea markets, including Johnny Z's flea market. So you could buy these anywhere. I mean, anyway. So what effect does that have? Well, when the big time manager got Anvil and wanted to sell it to the labels in America, and we've got the guy who can certainly tie the deal, no problem. But the problem is what he's trying to sell them isn't worth anything.
Mm.
You're going into an American major record deal, record contract, and they're saying you want to buy hard and heavy and metal on metal. Well, we know that you can buy them at the flea market for $5, but here, why don't you try to, get the rights and sell them for 10 or $15? And they're going, how about no?
But you were
Well,
considered.
that's the end of it.
Yeah, but you were considered an
And to this fucking day, dude,
yeah.
metal on metal, hard and heavy are not domestically available in the USA
Right,
to this day.
right. But that's what I thought was because I had to buy it as an import.
That's right.
And wouldn't it be smart for them to do a U.S. distribution
They
period or
don't
go?
want it. They couldn't. No one wanted to pay for it.
It's crazy because, like I said, but like I said, it might be $5 in France, but it was going to cost me $25 if I wanted the picture disc to get it from France.
Oh
You
no, no, no,
know?
no, 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 no. That's not. No, that's not the. That's not. The French picture discs in that day and age were $5 in the United States, dude.
They were here. They were here.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you said Johnny Z got it. Had it. Got him too.
Yeah, they were all over the United States.
Oh, gotcha.
The
Wow.
metal on metal and hard and heavy were domestic, in a certain sense, domestically released for cheap, super cheap in all the fucking flea markets.
Oh, gotcha. Man, that sucked.
So that ruined our track record for how many records we've sold and whether we're worth anything
Right.
financially, right? It's not about the music. It's about financially. You can't get the time of day.
What deal did you work out with contract with the Attic? How many albums were you contracted?
There were 3 albums.
Okay, so it went up to Forge and Fire.
Yeah.
Okay, because
And then they put out Backwaxed, which was made up of demo tapes and song one of the songs that we pulled off Fortune Fire, which was Backwaxed. We
and was
never
that was that approval by you, or they were just trying to do a money grab?
No, that's they're doing a money grab.
Okay.
I had nothing to do with it. And only Anvil it's the only Anvil album that hasn't got an alliteration title,
Mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They just call it Backwax. It's not.
Right. So now you're touring. How long did the Aerosmith tour last with you guys?
I was about 5 dates.
And then you went off the headline on your own after that?
Oh, then we went back into fucking obscurity,
Well,
basically.
you didn't do the
Playing Canadian dates, and
you weren't doing the U.S. So
we didn't get another real chance till '83, and we did all the UK with Motorhead.
okay, now this is now Forged and Fire is the tour
Yeah,
for
that
you
was for
guys.
Forge. That's already for
All right,
Forge and Fire. Yeah.
right there. That
Yeah.
so let me ask you about the cover. How did the metal on metal cover happen itself? That's again another iconic cover. How'd you guys
Metal
come?
on metal, the metal on metal. Once we had that title, um, coming up with I think that at first we said a chainsaw, and then he used a circular saw. The artist, the guy who put the artwork together, used a circular saw, and when he brought it in, we went, "Yeah, that's it. That's great, awesome."
So here's quick. So I'm looking through my photo album this morning for certain things, and I went to a Rat in-store appearance, and I had to be about 17, 18 years old. And what am I wearing in the photo? An Anvil metal on metal shirt going to a Rat appearance.
Wow.
I'll send you the
We
photo.
didn't meet you till like 99.
Listen, I
Where
had
did
well,
you
so
where
here
did you
here
see
we
us?
go.
Did you see
So
it?
here we go. How I became affected by you guys. There was a video that came out, and the same thing. So back in the day, you had to go to the village and find, and all the imports were there. Kerrang magazine was there. So the first thing I saw, and I don't know what year this was. You tell me, because I can't find it. Here it is. That you did that Ross Halfin. Oh, here's the picture. Where is it? You see the A? Oh,
Yeah, I don't.
yeah. Well, the other shot is a full shot. It was with the other guy. So here, this right here. When you did
Okay,
this,
yeah.
and you did this. So now, is this metal on metal? This was going on, or Forged in Fire?
Forge and Fire.
Okay. So now,
Because Forge and Fire, that's when I first got my semi-hollow flying V's, and
okay.
that's the prototype right there.
And
That's
what drove you to do that that shot?
that's Ross, that's Ross Halfin.
That was a raw suggestion.
Yeah,
And the iconic one was this one here. That I think I had you on my wall in my
yeah.
room. I ripped that off, and
I had a sweatshirt that had that on it. It was great.
awesome shot. So did you feel like you made it then when you were on the cover of Kerrang? Did you know you were going to be on the cover of Kerrang?
Yeah, all that stuff was known to it. We real make it. It's not. We hadn't made it. We hadn't made anything.
Well, now you're
Made
touring
it?
a lot. You're touring a lot more now you hit the states on Fortune Fire
Yeah.
headline tour because I have here.
Forge and Fire in the States? No, no, didn't
Yeah, well,
actually.
I have
We
here.
didn't
This is
actually tour the States until 1987.
no, sir, no, sir. Here's a ticket stub from
Oh,
Lemoore,
okay. Yeah, when we came down and did 3, 4 days.
October 27th, 1984.
Yeah,
So this,
yeah,
this
that's right. But they weren't full on tours, dude.
oh, real. So there were a couple like one-offs.
Yeah, there were a gig here and there. They're not tours.
So then again, what's the fucking deal? You got an amazing. First of all, you're on a great video called Super Rock '84 that shown you the world saw how you were. But same thing, you had to be into the scene to know you guys that way. So was
We
it
had
representation?
no distribution in the United States meant no major touring.
So even so, like you said, now this comes out and there's no picture disc, there's no $5 deals. Why ain't this being more distributed down? So why ain't Attic fucking working this for the states?
Because they couldn't sell it. They wouldn't give
Unreal.
money.
Now you're in the heyday of what
To
you're in
this
the
to this fucking day, dude, they've never offered enough money to buy those records. And here's another kicker, which is unbelievable. None of those albums have recouped. That's right.
unreal.
Even after the movie, to this fucking day, the record label that runs that and sells that is selling, one or two a month. You know what I mean?
So who owns the
Because
rights
you
to the,
can't get them. They're not distributed. They're virtually impossible to find.
who owns the rights to this now? Is Attic still in existence, or what's the
No,
name of it
it's
now?
owned by Unidisc, and it's like I said, where are you going to find a copy
And you figured with the
in
release
a non-existent record store?
or online, yeah, or online, yeah.
Yeah, but then you're ordering it, and you might never get it. They don't press them that often, if they even press them at all. I don't even know if you can. I don't even know if you can get the first three albums anywhere.
Yeah, because this one I have here is a 2 for 1.
Yeah, that was a short-lived release too. That,
And
but that's
well,
Attic.
and you
Attic
figure
had done that.
and you figure with the release of the documentary, and it was very, I mean, the documentary really blew up, that they would have had a push. Because here you go, you guys
You
are
know
out
what?
there.
What's really interesting. I think they did, but the way that they do the accounting for stuff, they put through as many as they feel like. So if, let's say, going back the last 20 years since the movie, they might have got rid of another million records, but it won't be for another 10 or 20 years that that money they'll let trickle through, or they'll, I don't know how to explain it, or account for those
Okay,
sales.
okay. So do you
So
feel
they
like
can account for the sales at any rate or at any amount that they want, and they can say we sold nothing, and I never see money from them. And usually when they send you a statement, it shows what you still owe, and they can write they can they can write, well, they made $500 this year, and then minus it 500 from last year. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's and there's your statement, and they can do that as much or as little as they want.
right? They can make it as a loss
There's
for
no,
their
there's
benefit.
no there's no oversight to any of this. And you're not hiring lawyers to go and do their accounting. You're not doing that.
Right.
It's a
So like do you, I feel so your albums technically, if someone went in and counted them all up and counted the sales, you're definitely looking at a gold album or possibly a platinum album on these
yeah.
albums.
Who the hell knows?
But realistically, let's like come on, they have to be. You know,
Well,
people want to be sure.
that's right. Because
pe-
between the picture discs and the legitimately sold stuff, there's got there's got to be there's
Like,
got to be.
like I said,
But, but where
as
are
a
you? Who are you suing? Who are you going
I
after?
know, I know, I know. Like it's throwing money out the window in that sense.
Yeah,
For what? If for a
yeah.
plaque in the
And
long
I'm
run,
more worried about and always am worried about what I'm doing tomorrow. What
right,
I did yesterday doesn't matter anymore.
right, right,
And that's
right.
the only way to look at it. It's in the past, and that's where it sits. And you can't do anything about it. So what's the point? All through the years, we've had lawyers look at the different ways of being able to get a hold of it, maybe re re reacquire them. You can't. You can't. It's not, and it won't be worth it. Am I going to go to Unidisc Records and offer them $50,000 for those old catalogs? I'll never make that money back in 100 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not worth. And now, having said that, if it's not worth it for me, it's not worth it for another label either, is it?
Yeah. Well, normally,
So these it's the music racket.
yeah,
It's what it is. And
You know what's
I'm
sad.
one of millions of stories like this.
But you
It's
know,
not unusual at all.
no, I know. And the thing about you guys too is that you keep pushing on and you make new music.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm worried about tomorrow. Yesterday, you can't change it. The
And
only
the,
thing you got control over is what you're doing tomorrow. So that's what you go after. That's what you focus
are
on.
you in the new music mode at the moment
Oh
too, like
yeah,
creating?
we got 21 pretty much in the can already. We're going to go record it in the summer.
Oh, great, great. And what label are you using for the record now?
Well, we're still considering that.
Okay.
That's
And
still a
who
consideration because the label that we were with doesn't exist anymore. They,
the last album?
yeah, I mean that's not unusual anything either. I think most of the labels that we've ever done business with, other than Metal Blade, all of them have come and gone. All well, Massacre still exists. A couple of them still exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why wouldn't Slagle keep you? I
Oh,
don't
I
understand.
wouldn't. I wouldn't deal with. I wouldn't. No, no.
Okay, so it didn't work
That's
out.
that's not an option. There is no
Okay.
option there. There's not. It's not. It's on every level, on a personal level, on a business level, on a
Okay. It
there
didn't
you
work
can't,
out.
it can't go there. Can't go there.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Gotcha. So now the last
I
thing
mean, there's always someone new, and if there isn't someone new, there's another way. Like if these, and we're at a point in a position in our careers that they got to offer me more than I can do for myself. Otherwise, I couldn't. It ain't worth my. And I'm fed up.
yeah.
I'm fed up with it
Now,
because I've put out recoup. I recoup whatever I've ever done. I've never lost. Anvil's a winning thing to me. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
yeah.
Um, and whether these independents make money on my project or not, they do. But the last person that they're ever going to let know is me. So that part of the business, I'm really fed up with because it's 10 to 1.
Right. And
Their
thank
end.
well th and
Their
thank God.
end. It's always 10 to 1. Their end.
Right. Right.
Any label that you sign with, they make 10 times your what you do, and you never see nothing. They give you an advance, right? Which you pay for the recording and whatnot. That's basically and fundamentally how it works. And then as they sell your copies, they pay themselves back,
Back, of course. Right.
but they pay themselves back out of your cut, right?
Right.
Not out of their cut, out of my cut.
Right.
So if they're paying me $1 per CD, they pay themselves back. They pay themselves back $1 per CD, and don't give me nothing. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, but why is
But
it that?
meanwhile, they're making $15
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
from
got
the
you.
sale of the CD, plus my dollar, which is paying off their initial investment.
But why are you signing a
So that's
contract
why
like?
I'm saying it's 10 to 1. That's the game. That's how it works.
I understand that, but for you to make the music, why would you sign a contract like that in that essence? You know what I'm saying?
Because that's the way it works.
All across the board.
And that's when we signed with Attic Records, right? We signed with Attic Records. I've virtually never seen a nickel from that ever.
Wow. Wow.
because they say that I'm still owe millions. They still say I owe hundreds of thousands of dollars
Oh, them.
from back then. They said that they're still collecting. They're still collecting my dollar per CD to pay for the recordings.
Oh my God.
But meanwhile, they're making the 10-15 bucks a sale
Right. Right.
and not paying me anything in lieu of paying that record company advance, the cost of making the records.
Right.
But meanwhile, they've made that profit back 20, 30 times before they're even paid back
Right.
from our it's 10 to 1, dude. That's the way it works. And you're going, well, why do you sign a deal like that? Because there is no other deal. What other deal?
It's either take it or leave it.
Ask. You could ask, you know, ask the biggest stars. Ask Prince, or ask, Michael Jackson. And he did some astronomical things. He was getting like $2 a CD, which is like, wow, you're getting double of what everybody else gets,
Right.
which is unbelievable. But that's the way the structure of the business. That's how it works.
So
You
now, like your new material, you would shop it around again? Like, would you go with AFM again, or would try
Oh
somebody
no,
else?
AFM doesn't exist.
Oh,
So
it's done.
and
Okay.
that's why we're not with them.
Oh,
They don't
gotcha.
exist.
Wow.
Which is which is like I said earlier, it's not unusual. A lot of labels are losing grip and disintegrating because where are you buying CDs?
Yeah. Right.
Who's
So,
A
so now
lot of
this stuff.
people don't even own a CD player anymore, and computers don't come with a disk drive.
Yeah, it's all streaming now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the stuff that you have, like the amount of CDs that you have, like for one and only, basically, that's all in existence at the moment, and then they're gone.
I'm not sure how you mean that.
I'm saying like the stuff that you have that you're selling, like the place don't exist anymore. So that means there's no more
Oh,
the amount
but
made of the
that
record.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is about that. I'm sure that there's still product out there.
Yeah, right, right. But it's
It's going to
but
be
it's
out there
but it's
for
only now a
a
limited
few more
amount
years.
because the
What you're going to find difficult to find is is all the
stuff, right?
past
You
records because they're all out of print,
right. You would
right?
have to go on eBay or
I
something
have
like
to,
that.
yeah, and we'd have to go make new distribution deals or press more copies ourselves. That's the
Right.
only way.
And like the last album, does the record company give you X amount of CDs personally for yourself, or would you have to buy your own CDs to
You
sell
have
them
to
at the
buy.
merch?
They'd like us to buy our own CDs.
Unreal, unreal.
It's an interesting scenario with it's stuff the way that business. The German, it's a German label, and they hold back taxes. Okay, and what happened was with us, you get your documentation. Once you get your documentation from the Canadian government, which proves that we pay taxes in Canada, once you prove that with the documentation, they're supposed to give you 30% more of your royalty advance.
Hmm.
They held back 30%. So it was thousands of dollars that they owed us, right? But upon going out on tour, they loaded us up with CDs and vinyl, and then billed us. They sent us an invoice for all these CDs and vinyl, and we never paid it. They never
Okay.
paid us. We never paid them.
Okay. Was
I
there any
think I think I did better than they did.
and no repercussions from that?
I no, there were no, they don't
Okay,
exist.
good. All right, good.
Labels. There's no repercussion. No one cares. They don't care.
Yeah.
They didn't care. We didn't care. What the
It would
hell?
have,
I
and
heard a
if
guy.
anything, it would have been.
I sold all the. We sold all the fucking all the CDs and vinyl. Got all of them. Way more money than they owed us. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Well, and then, and but then you
It
see,
doesn't matter. As far as I was concerned, the contract's finished. I'm happy. They're happy. We're all happy. Have a nice day.
and how do you do it merch wise? Like, I mean, like you guys have some of the. I mean, I buy a shirt every time, regardless. You know, I love the design. I love that you do retro. You know, you always have a metal on metal shirt there as it is. I love that, you know, you do the hockey jersey with the tour, the year of the tour on it. I mean, you're all that shit is great. So, how do you do merch wise? Is that okay? Is that, you know, does that work for you money wise? Does it equal out to what
Oh
you
yeah, yeah. Well, that actually, I'm in the same. I'm in the same business as my dad. He was a schmutta seller. That means rags. Believe
yeah,
me, my dad was a tailor, and I'm selling garments too. I sell T-shirts. You know what I mean? And the real truth is, we sell 10 to 1 T-shirts. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Over music. You know, you sell way more T-shirts than you're ever going to sell of your music
yeah.
because people like to wear and advertise what they listen to rather than buy what they listen to. They can stream what you listen to, you know.
Well. We won't tell the story, but you've seen the picture that I honored you in a certain thing that I did way back in my past, and I wore my metal on metal shirt for that,
Yeah,
if you remember.
yeah.
So so you've always been you know, in here in my heart. I've always loved you guys, you know, from the get go. And like I said, when I hosted that metal fest that we did, I mean we just hit it right off, and I thought, you know, I loved you and Rob from the get go, you know. So it was always
Hey man,
I
we had
really
it. That was the first great. That was what a great day that Jersey Shore, right?
yeah, yep, in Jersey, yeah, and that
That-
was
that-
something.
what a great time.
Goro,
And
Testament, SOD. I mean,
with Jasmine St. Clair was there.
Deb,
Remember that?
me and her co-hosted. Yep,
Yeah, right.
yep, yep. It was great. I got to introduce you guys on stage. It was awesome, awesome times, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it brought us to the friendship that we have now. I said I always look forward to
You
seeing you
know,
guys.
with Anvil, that's not unusual, man. I got friends like yourself all over the world, man. And you don't forget people. They become part of the family in some
Yeah.
way. You know, it's a weird thing, man. But it's wonderful because actually it's it's a major payment in a certain in a certain psychological sense. It's almost like a payment.
Hmm.
You know, it's one of the the advantages of being in a band is the friendships that you end up having with people all over the world.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's worth even more than money.
Now,
You can't buy it. You
like I
can't
say,
buy it. You know what
right,
I mean?
right. I say, I truly love you guys. I do as a friend, and you know, as a fan of the band and a fan of, like, listen, I have my streaming on my app on my phone. I have it on shuffle. You guys come up about 20 times, you know, during the shuffle, and it's cranking, and the windows are open, man, and I get a shit eating grin listening to it, you know, so and it's still effective. Like I say, I keep every time. So now let's get to the tour. Now you're doing the first three albums, and it's from June until July. Let me get the dates here. Hold on a second. You're starting out June 3rd, and you're going to be up in Rochester. You're starting
Yeah,
it.
well, maybe not
Oh,
Rochester, but we've had some problems with that,
okay.
which is
So,
not a great thing. But what are you going to say? It
okay.
might start from the second gig.
So Lakewood, Ohio, then might be the first gig.
Yeah, it probably will be. And what will happen is they'll put another show either in the Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester area at some other point in the tour, maybe at the end, who knows, to
Yeah.
make
So
up the lost
you're
show.
staying Midwest to the West Coast now for this tour in the on
Yeah,
the U.S. dates,
yeah.
and then you're going back up to Canada. Going from
Yeah,
starting.
we're doing a bunch of Canadian dates out west, which we haven't been in over 10 years.
Okay. So a lot of people that have never seen you in that area are gonna be fortunate enough to see you this time around.
Yeah, a lot of people or a lot of people that have seen us and haven't seen us in at least 10 years.
Wow. So now let me ask you: is the set list being formed?
Well, the set list, see, it's a thing that a lot of what we're doing, we already have been doing.
Is Motor Mount going to be there? And,
Motor
and, and
Mouth
I
is
and I keep begging you for Hard Times, Fast Ladies to be in there.
no, we added Bedroom Game
Okay.
from the first album, and we added Mad Dog.
Oh wow.
And the reason being is people have been asking for that song for years and we haven't been playing it. So it was
And
still part of the old catalog. So one song from that, but most of what your people are going to hear, well, of course, from the first album, three songs: um, Bedroom Game, School Love, and Ooh Baby are the first from the first three albums. From Metal on Metal, we've got March of the Crabs, 666, Metal on Metal, Mothra, uh,
Jackhammer?
and Jackhammer.
Good, 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 good.
So that's from that album, and from Forge and Fire we've got Free as the Wind, uh, Motor Mount, Winged Assassins,
Are you doing Forge?
Forge and Fire.
Yeah.
So there's four off that album.
And you're still gonna do swing time for Rob to do his drum solo?
And Rob is still we're still doing Swing Thing. Yes,
Okay, swing thing.
and in fact, and one other new song picked out of all of them. We'll do one a
Within the
different one every
catalog.
night. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
I
know, one
forgot.
night we'll do Bitch in the Box. Next night we'll do On Fire. The next night we'll do Badass Rock and Roll. Then we'll do do one only one new song per night.
And now is this your tour for the year?
Yeah, for this year, yeah.
Okay. And if this and for next year, would you extend this and if you could get East Coast dates, would you continue this way or would it be for the new album?
Uh it might be for the new album,
Okay.
but we'll see. We're gonna see what happens.
And it's still gonna keep
I mean, I don't really anticipate it to be that much different because a lot of the songs that we are playing, we have been playing a lot anyway. So it's not that much difference. Adding the three other songs and not alternatively added songs makes it a lot more conducive and
right.
usable.
And now let me see.
What were you doing right now?
Yeah.
Like normally we wouldn't do School Love as well as, you know, Ooh Baby. We would do one or the other. You know
Right,
what I'm
right, right.
saying?
I love
And
ACDC.
that's the same thing. You wouldn't do Forge and Fire every night. Sometimes it would be This Is 13. You know
Gotcha.
what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff that we're doing is stuff that we were doing, but it wasn't on an every night basis. A lot of people never seen us play Forge and Fire.
True. True.
You know, you know, you never saw us do Winged Assassins. You might not have It depends on what night you were there. I don't know.
Other than that actual tour, that's the only way you really saw all those songs being played.
Yeah, at once, and
Yeah,
yeah, is
yeah.
when in its day. Otherwise, you have to luck upon going there the right night to see the song that you're looking for. You know what I mean?
And the poster
Oh,
that I'm seeing,
but now because of this, we're putting them all together, and we're not playing anything new. So there is no dilly dallying.
and let me ask you, you would
You're,
never,
you're gonna hear you're gonna hear Jackhammer every night. You know what I mean?
right? Let me ask you this: you would never go the route of a lot of bands doing entire album, tour
Oh well,
wise.
no, well, there's a number of reasons that you can't do that. You can't do it,
Okay,
and there's no reason to because where who are we to make the decision what your favorite of the first three Anvil albums? Because the real truth is they've all sold about the same.
right, right, right. But a lot of times, bands do.
As far as we know, they were all just as popular as each other. Okay,
Right,
so which one are you going to weigh on?
but a lot of times,
And it's like, well, you're going to do all metal on metal. Now you're not hearing anything from Forge and Fire. That's not very good, is it?
well, again, the reason a lot of bands do that is anniversary. You understand?
Yeah, no, no, no. We're not doing it.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying to you. So, like, so
And plus the
that,
fact, how are you gonna do "Stop Me When We're Kissing"? The guy who sang it is dead.
right, right.
You know what I mean? Like
It would have to be lip singing it. That's what it have to be.
yeah. Then I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. I have no plans of doing that. I have no desire to do it, and I'm not going to. That's
Right.
the end of it. So that kind of thing is not going to happen.
Let me ask you this, and I
I
forgot
think
to
it
ask.
would be the excuse. What about you're not doing them because of the second guitar player? No, 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 no. We're not doing it because of the second voice.
Right,
There's no one
right.
to sing it.
So let me ask you this. I forgot to ask before. Where did the vibrator come in? What was the idea of using the vibrator as a slide?
Oh, that happened well before we even recorded. That
That was
was
before Hard and Heavy. You were always doing it.
oh yeah.
Oh,
It was
okay.
yeah, it's been always been was always part of the set. Originally the vibrator was used in the song Bondage. And realistically, there's certain aspect about it. It probably belongs there, but more so. But we don't do bondage anymore.
Right. You do, and you use it during the solo too.
Yeah, it was the song "Bondage" was constructed very similarly to Stormtrooping, Ted Nugent,
Yes.
so that I'd do a guitar solo. I'd be just playing with Rob for about 20 minutes. And that's when I used to do the vibrator solo and hang a moon with a pair of lips on my ass. And it's the old days. No, we don't do that
No.
anymore. We
And what
moved on.
and what was the where'd you get the idea? Okay, I'm going to start March of the Crabs inside the audience, being with the crowd on the floor.
Oh, that happened really early on, like when we wrote after we wrote the song. Well, it made a lot of sense. Let's open with it. We thought it would be a really good idea to open with an instrumental, because then I could leave the stage,
Okay.
right? That made a lot of sense, and it's it's easier to mix an instrumental than it is to try to get vocals above them. So it gave the sound man a chance to sort of do set up the sound before we even start into the actual where they're singing. You know
So
what
you
I
get
mean?
the levels and everything going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of reasons to do it, and of course, not to discount the fact that the song is a great song. What a great opener!
Oh, amazing opening. Amazing opening.
Yeah, so I've been doing that out, and it's great because I spend the first 3.5 minutes in the audience at the beginning of the night, which is great. That's a great thing.
Any had any ever had troubles someone come up to you, someone want to touch the guitar, or it was always everybody was cool?
Course, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
And they
yeah,
and believe me, I made them feel very sorry for doing that.
I'm sure. And again, you're very gracious at the end of the show. You always come down off the stage. You take photos with
Oh,
everybody.
I start and end the show in the audience, and
Yep.
when I end the show in the audience, I'm out there until the last person has shaken my hand or gotten an autograph or a picture. It
I tell
just
you, Anvil is that Ellipse is fantastic. There's no such thing as meet and greets, getting paid meet and greets. Ellipse shows up at the end of the show. He'll sign anything you put in front of him. He has the guitar on him, sweaty, going through. He just went through battle, and he's there with a big smile on his face, man. And it's just great to see.
well, that's right, man. Because there's nothing better than that. It's just the way I've been doing this for years, right?
Yep, yep. And one last question: I see the design for the poster for the Pounding the Past. Is that going to be a shirt design for the tour?
Yes, it is.
Oh, is that good? Are you gonna have any?
It's one of the best looking shirts, man.
I definitely
And
need
look at
that.
that, man. You've
I
got me
need that
fucking.
shirt.
Okay, well, let's have a look at it.
I'll need that shirt.
Like we're
You have
ready
what?
to like we're getting well prepared to leave, and of course stuff is coming in. So the shirts and now that you mentioned it, you can have a look. There.
Oh, of course, beautiful. Yep, that's a home run.
That's
Beautiful, my
pretty
man.
cool, yeah.
Beautiful. And that'll have the tour dates on the back.
Yeah, that will have the tour dates on the American one will have the tour dates on. This is the Canadian one. It's got no tour dates on
Okay.
it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And for business wise, is there a website for you guys?
uh
Is it active?
Yeah, we just use the Facebook. We don't really have a. I mean, there's the fan site which Tony Gallo looks after and has been since the '90s, so it's still there, and
So you
all the dates are on there. So
so you don't
yeah,
have a web store at the moment.
no, it's on the. Well, I don't know if any of the links are any good.
Okay.
We haven't been web storing much lately, and part of the reason is because of all the craziness with shipping stuff between countries now
Oh, with the tariffs and everything. Yeah.
is turned into a cluster
Yeah, it's
chuck.
a shit show. It is a shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unfortunate for us.
Yeah. No, it's a real pain in the ass. Now there's an export tax.
Right. Right.
Can you fucking believe it?
Yeah, I do. I
It
do.
cost us to send something to you, and then it cost you too, because you guys got to pay a tariff on it.
Right.
Because there's tariffs on anything coming from Canada. You guys have got to pay it. It's
Well,
like this
I,
is fucking fucked up,
I
man.
I bought an LP and DHL brought it down to me, and I was gonna have to pay an extra $37 to, to
Oh,
to take it off their hands. I said, send it back to Canada. I'm not paying $37 more. Sorry.
unbelievable.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. It's very, very sad.
I know. That's what we're going through at the moment. Yeah, it's bullshit, but you know,
Oh, well, I think it's all temporary
it all
to
shall pass. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. So, anything else, my man? You wanna anything to bring us up to date? You getting those fingers limber there and ready to go?
Oh yeah, I'm well ready to go. It's been actually really interesting getting the old songs, especially Bedroom Game. You know, Bedroom Game, it's been probably 40 years since we played the song.
Wow.
and it's really really interesting because of course the song is predominantly a guitar solo,
Right.
but it's kind of fascinating that I'm able to imitate it perfectly to this
It
day.
came right back to you.
Yeah, and it didn't go. It's still there. I didn't even have to memorize the lyrics. I even remembered the lyrics. I hadn't sung them in 40 years, and I'm
Wow.
remembered the lyrics. I'm going, this is unbelievable. But but like it does with everybody. You know how when you hear a piece of music, it brings you back to the day and age. Well, that's what was happening to me. I'm playing the thing, and I'm in as I'm playing it, I'm playing Quebec City in 1977. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it brings you right back.
Yeah, or playing the Young Station before we got signed. Or, it's like, wow, this is bizarre. I mean, Bedroom Game that's really, that's one of the oldest. That's one of the oldest songs we play.
Wow.
It actually is. It's older than School Love.
Jeez. No,
Yeah,
no, 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 no room for ACDC in there.
I thought about it. I
It's a
thought
great
about
song.
the apartment as well.
Yeah, great, great. That's the
I mean,
first album's got a lot of great stuff on it.
yeah, the first album is got some great stuff on it. Could have could have gone more. Yeah, you can always there's always room for more until you're out of time, and then that's it. As it is, it's so fucking it's long. It's long.
Normally, you do about 70, 75 minutes. You're extending it a little
Oh
longer.
no, it's an hour and a half, man.
Okay.
Maybe even longer.
Oh, wow.
It's fucking long. I I could see some of it not. I can see some of it being shortened. I think it's a bit long, but we'll see. We'll see.
You got to feel it out.
We'll feel it out. I've got big plans. We'll see if we can use it all. If we can play it all in one night, we will.
Right,
If it
right.
starts going on, you're up there and it's almost 2 hours. I think that's too long.
Well, listen, Anvil music. Can never get enough. And believe me, whoever's lucky enough to go to this tour, go and see this band because you might never see this again. Especially him do if he wants to do 2 hours, you
It's
might be the
not.
lucky ones.
It's not about the tunes. It's not about not being able to see the tunes again. Um, it's like I said, most of it still remains. It just depends on which night
You got to
you show
get
up,
right.
what you're going to get. But what is probably more important to think about is bucket list stuff. Are you going to live long enough, or am I going to live long enough?
Well, I'm knocking on wood.
I just turned 70, man. It's
Oh,
not like
God
I
bless
just
you.
turned 20. You know what I mean? My days are numbered.
Do you see a retirement? Do you see Anvil not?
Oh, there is no retirement, no death.
There you go. Good. That's what I like to hear.
No,
That's
it's about not getting up tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what it's about.
Absolutely.
That's when it ends.
Good. Good.
But what I'm saying is it's not 30 years from now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to be within the next 10 years, more than likely.
Right.
More than likely.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
That once you're 80, there's really not much time left. If you don't live to 100, not very many people do, man.
I know. I know.
Not very many people live to 80 either,
I
you
know.
know?
And us men, our range is between 70 and like 85. The
Yeah, well,
normal
look at
range.
Dave Allison didn't make it to 70, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What are you going to say, man? You can't change that shit.
I
We all
know.
have an expiry date.
That's
That's it.
it. I said it's already written, man. That's it. You
Yeah,
know.
and that's it. There's no way out, man. There's only one way out. That's it. You're going out in a box.
That's why. So enjoy what we have now.
That's right. Every minute counts. And
That's
that's
it.
the way to look at it.
That's
So
it.
that's why you don't quit. You know what I mean? And you don't retire.
You persevere, man.
What am I retiring from? You retire from things you hate. Then you don't have to do it anymore, right? But you don't retire from music. You love it.
That's
So you do
right.
it until you can't.
That's right. Well,
That, that's what the name of that is.
that's what I tell my wife. I said every time I go out to see a show, I said, listen, next year's not guaranteed. I'm going to get to see this person play again. So that's why I'm there. That's why I'm there to enjoy it.
And it's not just me. You go see all the other bands,
Yes,
all the other age bands, because we just lost Ross the Boss.
I know. I know.
Like, fuck. He was a year older than me. And that's what I'm saying.
And he
Go
went quick.
see the bands before they're not there. There is no band.
That's right. All you'll be doing is
And,
watching.
and you know, like some guys don't won't even, some guys lose it even before so that they can't go out and play. I think that's real hell.
Yeah.
That's real hell, man.
Let me ask you this: you never thought about getting with another known metal band and doing like a co-headline?
Oh, package. We think about
Yeah.
it all the time. It never happens. Never has, and and it hasn't happened.
So like even your
Why?
no.
I don't know. Don't ask me. I've been willing to do it all along, but can't get it. Can't get it. Can't. It can't seem. Doesn't seem to get coordinated.
That
Whoever
ACD.
we're working with and whoever other people are working with for whatever reason, don't
Yeah.
know. Don't
Yeah.
know. You know,
And
there was talk about going out with KK Downing. You know, Tim Ripper Owens is a good friend. We talked about it, was all being talked about, and it was going to happen. It was going to happen. It didn't happen. You know what I mean?
now he's touring with Wasp.
Yeah, or whoever. They chose someone else,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what happens. I'm still waiting for that opportunity. It hasn't happened. It would be really fucking cool if it did.
When you did that ACDC show, is that only one gig?
You know, we did like four or five shows
Oh,
with
four
them.
or five shows from that?
Yeah.
Wow. That
The,
must
the
have been something
longest
else.
the longest full blown tour that we ever did was with Motorhead, and all the years, and we're talking about 1983.
Wow.
The next closest thing that we've done would be Udo in Europe.
Hmm.
We went out for almost 2 months with him. That was that was another great opportunity. And number three would have been Saxon. We went out for a few weeks with them.
Oh, you
But
guys together would be phenomenal.
it would, yeah, but none of this is ever in the States. We're waiting for never had that opportunity in the United States, other than two gigs that we did with AC/DC in Jersey and New York.
Right. Right. Well, it's a shame. Hopefully someone watching this get in contact with
Yeah,
Lips.
but it's a very, very political, money oriented reasoning. It's very, very precarious and difficult to coordinate. And I'm proof of it. It's fucking 50 years and I've never gotten to do it.
Yeah.
That just tells you how difficult it really is to get that to happen. 50 years, man. And I
Well,
still haven't gotten a proper length tour in the United States to this day.
so it's
Don't,
normally like 30
don't
dates
know
here and
why,
there.
I'm going to Europe to do this pounding the pass, and that's almost 3 months. everywhere else I'm able to do months and months and months and months, but the United States I'm lucky to do 2 months at a time. So, and certainly not in a codependent or co-headlining situation. It'd be really good, man. It'd be really good if we could get a chance
Absolutely.
like that.
Right. And then you can play. And
You
then you
never
can play.
know. It could change next year.
Right.
I just got to keep living long enough and stay healthy.
Stay
That's it.
healthy. That's it.
That's it.
You and Rob got to stay healthy, man.
That's it, man. So far, I'm doing pretty good. I still got most of my hair.
You look good, my brother. I tell you.
I'm only missing a few teeth, but what are you can do?
Good thing you don't need those teeth to sing with.
Yeah, you do need teeth to sing with.
Well, the
Otherwise,
ones that are gone, I'm saying.
yeah, otherwise you start whistling.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go. We're well over 2 hours.
Yeah, well, now you got a good interview.
I want to thank you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And like I said, hopefully I get to see you next year. I guess now because you're not coming to the East Coast at all. You
No,
know,
not this time. But you never know. Maybe the gig that got canceled in Rochester, maybe we'll get to play in the New York City or Jersey area. Who
that'd be
knows?
fan-
We'll
that'd be
find out.
fantastic.
It
That'd
could
be
be coming.
call it
Don't
like
never say
dingbats.
never. Not in this
Listen,
business.
dingbats or Sony Hall or anywhere in the New York City area. Hopefully they're watching. They'll book this date.
That would be nice.
You know.
You
All right. I
never
want to
know.
thank everybody for staying with us this long. And like I say, it
Okay.
was really is an honor to have Lips on from Anvil. And if, like I said, if you're lucky to see this tour, you're going to be very lucky to see this tour. And I want to wish everybody a great day and thank you for staying with us. This is Paulie Christine
Okay.
saying, peace, everybody. Thank you, Lips.
Okay. You take care. Bye bye.
Take care, brother.